Don't let your reaction to what is F up your manifestation. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the contrast of life and how that plays into the manifestation process. And if you can understand this, you can manifest anything. But before I begin, I'm offering 40% off all of the courses. Highly recommend, if you like this video today, to check out the 7 steps to manifest anything. The information is going to be down below. But let's jump in. Anytime you are trying to manifest something in your life, you are always going to see the opposite of what you want before you get what you want. And if you can just drill this into your mind, it's going to make the manifestation process a lot easier, and you're going to prevent yourself from becoming discouraged when you don't see what you want. So let's look at exactly why this is. If I launch a desire for something, what that means is that I don't already have it, right? Meaning that I am currently experiencing the lack of it. And so what is dominant in my vibration the moment I launch a desire is lack. And that's okay. That's part of the process. And this is the whole point, is we're starting off from point A. And so we're trying to get to point Z. And there is a process. And when we understand the process, then we don't get upset when we inevitably see the contrast of life, because we will. Because my starting off point is lack, that means that this present moment, right? So today I'm launching the desire. It means that today, what I'm focused on is the lack of it. So because we know that there's sort of a buffer of time when it comes to manifestation, mainly just because the energy moves a little bit slower in this 3D world, this is why when you have dreams, when you're in the 4D, there's less fear. There's still fear, keep that in mind, but there's less fear. So this is why when in a dream state, you can think something and it happens like this, right? Whereas in the physical world, we can think something, it may not show up till tomorrow, till next week, till next year, but understand that it will show up if you hold the vibration. And so the day that I launch my desire, I am more aware of the lack, right? Because honestly, I'm looking at the fact that it's not here, hence why I have the desire in the first place. Because if I already had it, I'm not going to be desiring it. So understanding that and understanding that what I focus on, I'm going to attract, right? So if I'm currently focused on the external, which is the lack of my desire, then within a couple days, what I'm probably going to see, right? Because that vibration of energy has to play out physically. So I'm probably going to see more and more of that lack. That is okay. Understand that this is a part of the manifestation process. But if on day 2, I'm doing this manifestation work right, meaning that I am taking my attention away from the physical temporarily, right? Because the physical is lack. But the internal is going to be where I foster that feeling of abundance, where I foster that feeling of already having it. And so I have the choice to put my state of consciousness on what I'm seeing, or I have the choice to put my state of consciousness on my internal world. And the reason why this is powerful is because we can choose to feel and think anything inside of ourselves. We can't always control exactly what is happening to us physically, right? Externally, as you guys know. You can't control what every single person is thinking and doing. You can't control every event that's going to pop up. But what you can control is what's happening inside of you. And so when you're manifesting, what you're doing is you're switching your state of consciousness from the external to the internal. And there's a delay. So if I'm saying today that I do have this pink Jeep that I want to have, well, I may not see it today. I may not see it tomorrow. I may not see it 5 days from now, right? Physically. But I'm seeing it inside of my own mind. I'm feeling it inside of myself. I'm thinking about it inside of myself, correct? So when you foster this sort of mentality and you start to really focus your energy where it's most important to, right? Which means that I know that my state of consciousness is what I'm creating, which means that I know wherever I put my attention dominantly will eventually manifest physically. And so, yes, it is okay if temporarily I don't see what I want, but it's also important that I don't allow my internal world to be affected because I'm seeing the contrast of life. Because the contrast of life is inevitable. It's going to happen, right? And so if we go into the manifestation process thinking, I'm not going to see anything bad, or I'm not going to see the opposite of what I want, or, I'm not going to see something that upsets me. It's not realistic. You most likely will see a lot of that. But again, your work is then to balance yourself internally so that you can hold that state of consciousness regardless of what you're seeing. And this is sort of what it means as well to heal, because when we start to launch a desire for something new, what often happens is we have these sort of internal triggers. And these internal triggers are based on our insecurities and based on our self-limiting beliefs. And so when these things pop up in the physical world, which they will, they're going to reveal our insecurities, they're going to reveal our self-doubts. When we don't react, what we're doing is we're strengthening our sense of self. And every time you don't react to what you're seeing and you harness that internal state and you don't rely on the outer world to validate what's going on inside of you or to be the basis of what you choose to feel about yourself, you become so powerful. And this is why the process of manifestation is really spiritual work. I talk about how these two relate to each other because they're so important. They're so vital, right? You know, how we feel about ourselves, the thought processes that we have, the ideas, the opinions, the beliefs that we have are literally creating our world. And so if we still have very self-limiting beliefs, if we don't love ourselves, if we don't like ourselves, if we are mean to ourselves, guess what? That's going to show up physically. But the second we reclaim who we are, right? We take that journey back to self. So that course is also available if you guys are interested. But we take that journey back to self. Then what happens is we come into our wholeness. We regain our internal power. And from that place, there's nothing off limits because that's your true nature. So again, if you are struggling with the contrast of life, if you are manifesting and you are not seeing what you want, this is normal. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the manifestation process. You just need to go inside and put your focus on where it's important. So I hope that this video today was helpful for you guys. If it was, be sure to give me a thumbs up, go down below. Just reminding you guys that there's 40% off all of the courses. The link is going to be down below in the description box. But I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Take care.